1183. The castle of Kerak is surrounded. Saladin's entire army is outside the walls. Inside, a wedding. Arrows falling from the sky onto the wedding feast. And the man coming to save them cannot see, cannot walk, cannot use his hands. Baldwin IV, blind, carried on a litter, his body eaten alive by leprosy, is marching to war anyway. He arrives. Saladin retreats. A dying king just defeated the most powerful commander in the Muslim world. From a stretcher. Now imagine that king doesn't die 2 years later. What happens to Jerusalem when the man everyone is waiting to bury refuses to go? By 1183, Baldwin IV was not a king in any physical sense that the medieval world would recognize. He was completely blind. His corneas had dried because he could no longer blink. He could not walk without support. His hands and feet were disfigured and numb. The leprosy had taken everything the body could give. He burned with repeated fevers that left him weaker each time. And yet he ruled, not from a throne, from a litter, carried from room to room, from council to battlefield, from one crisis to the next. He retained the royal title. He kept final decision-making power. He appointed regents to execute his orders, but the orders were still his. This is the thing about Baldwin that his enemies kept underestimating. The body was gone. The mind was not. In 1183, when Guy of Lusignan, his own regent, his own brother-in-law, proved himself incompetent and refused to cooperate with the kingdom's nobles, Baldwin removed him from a litter. Blind? Dying? He summoned the high court at Nazareth, stripped Guy of the regency, and replaced him with Raymond III of Tripoli. A man who could not see, could not stand, could not lift a sword. Outmaneuvered one of the most ambitious men in the kingdom without leaving his bed. To understand what Baldwin's survival past 1185 would have meant, you have to understand what he was doing in those final months. He was not giving up. He was building a wall. Every decision he made in 1183 and 1184 was designed to protect the kingdom from what he knew was coming, his own death. He crowned his nephew Baldwin V as co-king. He named Raymond III as regent. He named his uncle Jocelyn III as the boy's guardian. He constructed, piece by piece, a succession structure designed to keep Guy of Lusignan as far from power as possible. He knew Guy would destroy everything. He had already seen it. Guy's military failures, his arrogance, his inability to work with the kingdom's barons. Baldwin had watched all of it from his litter and understood exactly what it meant. The wall he built was good, but it needed time to hold. Baldwin V was a child. Raymond III was capable, but politically vulnerable. And Sibylla, Baldwin's sister, Guy's wife, the woman whose bloodline gave Guy his claim to the throne, was still there, still dangerous, still in love with a man her brother despised. Baldwin needed to live long enough for the wall to become permanent. He died in March 1185. He was 23 years old, and within 12 months, everything he had built collapsed. Baldwin V died in 1186. A child, barely 8 years old, gone within a year of his uncle. And the moment Baldwin V died, Sibylla moved. She manipulated the succession with devastating speed and intelligence. She had herself crowned queen. Then she demanded the right to choose her own consort. The barons assumed she would set Guy aside. They had made her promise to annul the marriage as a condition of the coronation. She crowned Guy herself, placed the crown on his head with her own hands. The barons stood watching, powerless. Raymond III, the man Baldwin had trusted to hold the kingdom together, had no legal way to stop it. Jerusalem now had the king that Baldwin IV had spent his entire reign trying to prevent. 2 years later, Guy marched the entire army into Saladin's trap at the Horns of Hattin. The kingdom that had survived Saladin for a decade, the kingdom that a blind, dying king on a litter had held together through sheer force of will, collapsed in a single afternoon. Now take Baldwin out of his grave. Not healthy, not recovered, still blind, still on his litter, still burning with fever, but alive, still alive in 1186 when Baldwin V dies. The succession crisis that Sibylla engineered depended on one thing: a power vacuum. A moment when there was no king, no regent with real authority, no one with enough legitimacy to stop her. A living Baldwin IV is not a vacuum. He is still king. His orders still carry legal weight. When Sibylla moves to crown herself, Baldwin can challenge it. From his litter, through his advisors, through the high court he had used to strip Guy of the regency 3 years earlier. He had done it before. He knew how. Does he succeed? That depends on how much strength he has left. A Baldwin barely clinging to life in 1186 may not be able to stop Sibylla completely, but he can slow her. He can complicate her plan. He can buy Raymond III the time needed to build a legal counterclaim. And even a slowed Sibylla is a different Sibylla. Even a delayed coronation gives the barons more time to organize, more time to find an alternative, more time to prevent the catastrophe that everyone except Guy himself could see coming. Baldwin IV survived things that should have killed him a dozen times. He rode to Kerak on a stretcher and turned back Saladin's army. He removed a regent from power without being able to see his face. He built a succession structure for a kingdom he knew he was leaving behind. And he built it carefully, intelligently, with the full knowledge that every piece of it would be tested the moment he closed his eyes. The tragedy of Baldwin IV is not that he was sick. It is that he was good enough, even sick, even dying, even blind on a litter, to hold everything together. And the moment he was gone, there was no one left who came close. Jerusalem did not fall because Saladin was too strong. Jerusalem fell because Baldwin IV ran out of time.